Hello, mathematicians! We're going to go ahead and take a look at how to solve equations with absolute value. So I take a look, if I have something like the absolute value of 3, I think about what I know about the absolute value. And what it's asking me is how far is 3 from 0? So I think I have 1, I have 2, I have 3. I look at how many spots it is from 0, 1, 2, 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. And then I can take a look and I can think about the absolute value of negative 3. How far is negative 3 from 0? And I go 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at it. Both of them have an absolute value of positive 3. So as I move towards trying to solve equations with absolute value, I'm going to take a look at one that's maybe pretty simple. I could think about what's the absolute value, what numbers could I fill in for x if the absolute value was going to be equal to 3. So really, when I think about this, I'm always thinking about the fact that it could go two different ways. I could go to the right on my number line and have it be at 3, and the absolute value of 3 is 3. Or I could go to my left on my number line and I could have negative 3, and the absolute value of negative 3 is still going to be 3. So this is like the simplest of equations with absolute value. Isn't that super fun? I think it makes me feel kind of rock starish that I'm so super smart like that. So let's get a little bit harder. What if I had something that looks like this? The absolute value of x plus 4 equals 3. The same thing is still going to apply. When I look at x plus 4, it could end up being equal to 3, because the absolute value of 3 would be 3. Or this could be equal to negative 3, because when I take the absolute value of negative 3, it's also going to be 3. So I'm going to use that information now to solve my absolute value equation. So I'm going to say, hey, x plus 4 could be equal to 3, or x plus 4 could be equal to negative 3. I'm going to solve this one first. If I subtract 4 from both sides using my inverse operation, I get that x is equal to negative 7. And then if I go over here and I solve this equation, I subtract 4 from both sides, and I get x is equal to negative 1. So I get these two different solutions to my absolute value equation. I get that I could fill in negative 1 for x and be safe, or I could fill in negative 7. Let's try it. So if I try it over here, and I fill in the negative 1, the absolute value of negative 1 plus 4. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Absolute value of that is 3. That's exactly what I wanted it to be. Haha, happiness. Or I could fill in my negative 7. Negative 7 plus 4, and I'm going to take the absolute value. Negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. I take the absolute value, and I get 3 smiles. Look at that. Either way, two different answers. They're both solutions to my equation with absolute value. So each time I'm kind of thinking, hey, I could go either direction on my number line. I could have this be equal to something positive like 3, or something negative like negative 3. And I'm still going to end up with a positive answer in the end. So that's solving equations with absolute value. Doo-doo.